Hi there, how you doing? This is Adam Krause from the Krause and Kinsman law firm. Yeah, I just wanted to give you an update video. It's been about 6 weeks to 2 months since I've done the last one. I'm going to try to make them more frequent now that we're having more frequent court hearings. So we just got done with the court hearing this week. It was, I believe, on Wednesday of this week. It was a shorter court hearing than we normally have. The court hearings in the past have been kind of going for 5-6 hours. They're usually in the AM and the PM. This one was relatively brief. It was maybe an hour and a half long or so, but I just wanted to kind of give you a general synopsis of where the case is, where it potentially could be going. There's kind of a lot of, I always say potentially, and where it could be going, because there's a lot of forks in the road. So when we get to it, we could turn left or we could turn right. We can file this motion or do this motion. So I just want to give you a general landscape of where we're at and where we could be going, or we potentially could be going, and hopefully that's helpful. I've had a lot of feedback on that you guys do like the videos. This is something unique that we've done in this litigation that we've never done before, and the feedback that I've gotten is that you guys like it, and so I will continue to do that. And I think it's a good way that I could talk very in depth about kind of the topics that are going on right now. So this court hearing, I think there's a lot of stuff that kind of went on, but let me kind of gloss over and go through the high points. I got my check or spot right here, but the first thing is that this was the first time where we filed what is called an estimation hearing. And an estimation hearing is basically a trial to determine the damages for all creditors. Specifically in this case, it will be the sexual abuse creditors, or you guys. So the folks that were sexually abused, essentially there is a trial or a judge that will determine the overall, what's called aggregate value for the case. And so without going too much in depth on this, because it is, it's unique. I will tell you that this is unique to bankruptcy world. This is unique to a bankruptcy case. You couldn't traditionally do this in the tort system. You couldn't file for estimation, determine the aggregate liability for all creditors. So it's unique to this. But basically what it will be is it will be a trial where we will hire professionals, experts, to talk about basically a statistical analysis on what these cases have been awarded in the jury system before. And we're going to bring in psychology experts, psychiatry experts, child sexual abuse experts. There will be many experts that will be called and opined upon, and ultimately it will be a judge that will determine the aggregate value of all the cases. So then after that, there will be a value, and there's a lot of different ways it can kind of go after that, but ultimately the way that money will be dispersed in this case is through a TDP process. And so it will basically be a criteria that we have to meet in each case, and it will determine how these cases are paid out. And that TDP process has not been built yet. It's been talked about. We've been working on it, but it hasn't been built yet. But one thing that I can say it would be smart and probably a good idea is for you guys, eventually we'll probably come to you and say, hey, do you have any way that you could show that you were in the Scouts? If you don't, that's okay. But if you do have some things, some old pictures or, whatever it might be, just secure those now. You don't need to send it to us now. We'll ask for them later. We'll have a phone call and we'll talk about them. It's not that time yet. It's not that time in the litigation yet, but that will probably come in the future, and we'll want to make sure that we do something. And I'll have very specific directions. You'll get a mailing to your house with the specific directions. We'll help you through it, but we're not there yet. We're months away from that process. One of the questions that I got, and I just want to make sure I answer it, is how long is this going to take? And again, we don't know at this point. The estimation trial, I think was teed up for 6 months from now, and that's a big process of getting all of the experts ready to testify, looking at the data and doing things like that. And so, we don't know how long this case is going to take, but just know that there's a lot of people working, very, very hard on this case to make sure that y'all get paid for all of the suffering that you've had over the many, many years. So I want to let you know that we truly are working very hard. The insurance companies are the ones that are kind of giving us the biggest trouble. they don't want to let go of their money, and that's what insurance companies do. And so we need to go ahead and prove to them that these cases, of course, are horrendous. They should be paid. It's their obligation to pay. It's their duty as an insurance company to pay this. The reason that the Boy Scouts of America had insurance was so they could pay for these types of things. And so that's their obligation as an insurance company. Now, they may not want to, they may not like it, but that's their job. And this happens in every single case that I've ever been a part of. It happens in my pharma cases, my med device cases, car cases, you name it. The insurance companies are always the ones that are the stick in the mud that don't want to pay. They're the last kind of, dollar out, and they're the ones that kind of cause the biggest stink. And so that's what's happened in this case. And we need to just continue to put the pressure on them. That way they penny up the right amount. So that's where we're at right there. As far as I'm just looking real quick at my other notes that I have here. So as far as other things in the case go, there is going to be a process eventually where we're going to come through and we're going to do kind of just a big checklist of everything that we need for the case. Again, that process is going to be months away. We'll reach out to you. And then the last thing I want to do is I want to give kind of a shout out to one of our clients, and he's really, really great. I had a really good conversation with him, and he sent me, and I'm going to show you guys in the next update video. I don't have it here. I'm actually working from my home office right now, and I'll be in my other office and I'll have it. But what I want to be able to show you is that he sent me, it's really cool. It's a handmade knife that he made, and he took this on after COVID. He's now a swordsman or a knife maker. It's very, very neat. I want to be able to give you guys the URL, the link to his company, but he is one of the abused, and he is a true professional, and I just thought it was so cool. His story is very interesting. He's given me permission to tell you guys that, and what I want to do is I want to show you guys that in the next video, but it's just a unique story, and I think that highlights the importance of what, beyond even the money that you guys have done, is that you guys are a group of individuals. And I think this is really important. I think this is the most important part of the video. Maybe I should have started with it, but I think this is the most important thing. You guys are a group of individuals that have come forward to the court to make a change. And so I got younger children, and what I can tell you is that you are not only seeking justice for everything that happened in the past, but what you are doing is you are ensuring that our future generation is protected from child sexual abuse at the Boy Scouts of America and other institutions as well too. Because I can tell you there are other institutions that are looking at this case right now, and they're saying, we don't want this to happen to us. We don't want this to happen to our members or our children. And they're going to implement some of the same policies and the procedures that you guys are forcing the Boy Scouts to make right now. And so I just want to say, and I want to highlight this, and this is so important, and it is the most important part about the case, but you guys, by stepping up and coming together, these 90,000 people that were sexually abused in Scouts, you are forcing a change in an institution that has been around for a century. And so for an institution to change like that, it means it's extremely important to me, or to them. And so the experts that we are talking to are experts in child sexual abuse. They're experts in, they worked with the gymnastics, they worked with some of the Jeffrey Epstein cases, and they're going to implement policies and procedures. In order for the BSA to survive, they're going to have to implement those. And so I truly want to say, I want to commend you all for coming forward and doing this, because right now you are forcing change. You are forcing change in an institution that's been around for a century, and I just don't think I could overstate that enough. And it's really powerful what's happening. I eventually am going to be able to do a video. Maybe I'll do a video on all of the things that they're going to be forced to change in order to emerge from Chapter 11. And so I want to thank you. I always end these videos with God bless, and truly I mean that. Right now, things are looking great. We're starting to emerge from COVID. Spring's here. So just stay safe. I thank you all very, very much. But just know that you're doing something really good, really powerful, and that you are protecting the future generation. Thank you.